Genghis Khan, originally named Temujin, was born around 1162 in the unforgiving landscapes of the Mongolian steppe. His early life was marked by hardship and survival. After the poisoning of his father by a rival tribe, Temujin's family was abandoned by their clan, forcing them into poverty and isolation. They survived by hunting, foraging, and fishing, often living on roots and small animals. Temujin displayed early signs of leadership by forming bonds with other outcast youths and defending his family against raiders. From these bleak beginnings emerged a leader who would go on to create the largest contiguous land empire in history. His journey from outcast to emperor is a story of extraordinary resilience, strategic brilliance, and ruthless ambition. Temujin began his rise to power by forging alliances and subduing rival tribes through a combination of diplomacy, warfare, and loyalty that he demonstrated remarkable charisma and leadership by bringing together disparate groups under a common cause. Rather than relying on noble lineage, he promoted individuals based on merit, loyalty, and skill. This radical meritocracy won him the loyalty of a growing army and laid the foundation for a new kind of leadership. He also instituted strict discipline within his forces and imposed a code of conduct that bound his men together. His innovative military structure included a decimal system that organized soldiers into groups of 10, making command and control more efficient. By 1206, he had unified the Mongol tribes and was proclaimed Genghis Khan, meaning universal ruler, at a grand assembly known as a Kurultai. Once in power, Genghis Khan focused on expansion. His military was unlike any the world had seen, highly mobile, disciplined, and deadly efficient. Organized into units of tens, hundreds, thousands, and 10,000s, his forces could move swiftly across vast distances, striking with devastating speed. The Mongol army mastered tactics like feigned retreats, surprise attacks, and strategic encirclements. They were expert horsemen and archers, capable of shooting accurately while riding at full gallop. Each warrior carried multiple bows, extra horses, and rations, allowing them to remain in the field for extended periods. They also employed siege technologies and engineering expertise acquired from conquered Chinese and Persian cities, allowing them to breach fortified settlements across Asia and the Middle East. Genghis Khan recruited artisans, engineers, and scholars from the territories he conquered, enhancing the capabilities of his forces and administration. Genghis Khan wielded terror as a psychological weapon. Cities that resisted Mongol rule were often annihilated, sending a message that resistance was futile. Massacres were not random acts of cruelty, but strategic acts of deterrence. Yet he was also pragmatic. Cities that surrendered were spared. Their people integrated into the empire. He encouraged religious tolerance and often allowed local leaders to retain their positions if they pledged loyalty and paid tribute. This approach helped maintain stability across a diverse and sprawling territory. The Mongols allowed Muslims, Christians, Buddhists, and other religious groups to worship freely, making the empire an unexpected haven for multiculturalism in the medieval world. He even invited religious leaders from different faiths to his court for debates and discussions, believing that spiritual diversity could contribute to imperial harmony. Administration under Genghis Khan was surprisingly sophisticated. He implemented a legal code known as the Yasa, which emphasized order, discipline, and justice. The Yasa covered a wide range of issues, from military conduct to theft, adultery, and civil disputes, and was enforced uniformly across the empire. Violators were often punished severely to ensure compliance. He also established the Yam system, a vast network of relay stations and mounted couriers that facilitated rapid communication across the empire. This system allowed him to maintain control and respond quickly to threats, even across thousands of miles. These stations were stocked with food, horses, and supplies, enabling messengers to travel up to 200 miles a day. In some areas, the Mongols even implemented census systems and tax collection procedures to better manage the resources of their vast domain. Trade flourished under Mongol rule, with the empire securing vast stretches of the Silk Road. Merchants, scholars, and travelers could move with unprecedented safety. Genghis Khan issued official passports called Pizi, which granted protection and safe passage to traders throughout the empire. This led to a surge in cross-cultural exchange, spreading ideas, technologies, and goods between East and West. The Mongol Empire became not just a military machine, but a conduit for global connection. Chinese inventions like paper, gunpowder, and printing spread westward, while Islamic science, medicine, and mathematics made their way east. The period also saw the travels of notable figures like Marco Polo, who journeyed to the court of Kublai Khan and later chronicled his experiences in Europe. Mongol protection of trade routes helped knit together the ancient world in ways that would influence the age of exploration centuries later. When Genghis Khan died in 1227, his burial site was kept secret, reportedly hidden in an unmarked grave with the workers and soldiers involved in his funeral slain to preserve the mystery. Despite his death, the empire he founded did not collapse. Instead, his descendants continued to expand it, pushing into Eastern Europe, the Middle East, and all of China. His grandsons, including Kublai Khan and Hulagu Khan, played key roles in shaping the post-Genghis era. Kublai Khan established the Yuan dynasty in China, becoming the first non-Han emperor to rule the entirety of China. While Hulagu founded the Ilkhanate in Persia at its peak, the Mongol Empire covered over 12 million square miles and influenced the course of world history. Though often remembered for the scale of his destruction, Genghis Khan's legacy is complex. He was a brutal conqueror, but also a visionary leader who revolutionized warfare, governance, and global interaction. That he laid the groundwork for a more interconnected world, where ideas, goods, and people flowed more freely than ever before. His impact is still felt today in the ways cultures connect, trade flows, and empires are remembered. Modern genetic studies even suggest that his lineage survives in millions of men across Asia, a testament to the scale of his influence both on and off the battlefield. He remains one of the most influential figures in human history, both feared and admired for the vast empire he built and the lasting mark he left on civilization.